Hello, this is Emma from Bookworm Undercover. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, nice to meet you. You might have noticed that I am no longer animated, and that's because I decided that since I'm back in school, keeping up the YouTube channel while also doing all the editing and animating and stuff might not be the best. So I decided that I would do the video in this format from now on. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Today we are talking about the Chrysalids. This is actually a book I read earlier this year and late last year, I think. It's a great book, and this video is going to be more of a review rather than an actual thorough analysis on its contents. The Chrysalids is a book set in the era of a nuclear aftermath of a world war. This was written in the 1950s, so you can kind of get that feeling of people were afraid of nuclear wars breaking out and potentially wiping out the entire world, sort of. It's a sci-fi, and it focuses around this boy who happens to be a mutant that can read other people's emotions. He doesn't have any physical mutations, so if he isn't found out about his abilities, he isn't in risk of being shunned or executed. He also has a cousin and a younger sister with the same ability. Now, The Chrysalids is a really solid book when considering thematic messaging. Considering it was published in the 1950s, I can tell how controversial this book would have been when it was first released. I particularly enjoyed the use of religion as a means to control the belief of the people. As someone who is fascinated in the role of religion and belief in society, this was an interesting read. I especially loved how the belief system itself was established, where even the protagonist, who is part of an oppressed minority group, feels apprehension towards others who have physically altering conditions. This is true even in society, where sometimes the internalized hatred is so strong that you hate yourself, and you hate others who are in the same or similar situation. This can be seen through things like internalized homophobia, where people do not feel comfortable or validated about themselves because they were part of a Christian or other religious community when they were growing up. That entire premise itself made it very interesting because it addressed a part of xenophobia that usually isn't addressed very much in fiction. But The Chrysalids was really good, but one thing I didn't particularly like about the book was the prose. Since I haven't read any other Wyndham books, I'm not sure if this is a stylistic choice or if he just usually writes like this. The descriptions of each character's emotions are very direct, and it leaves almost no space for interpretation. It was, to me, a very clear case of tell, not show. However, since the protagonist is a emotion reader, if that's what you can call it, since he is able to read other people's emotions, perhaps it might have been a way to show that through literary means. But personally, I think it wasn't the most deliberate choice that I saw. Even if it was a deliberate choice, it didn't come off that way to me. But all in all, The Chrysalids was a wonderful read, and I would recommend wholeheartedly to anyone interested in xenophobia, sci-fi, and religion. One thing before the video ends, I have to address the warning that for people who might be interested in reading The Chrysalids. The Chrysalids is a book that was published in the 1950s, and so it also contains some controversial themes that modern readers might not be comfortable reading. The main character does fall in love with his cousin, and those who are uncomfortable with reading that or anything adjacent to incest, I would not recommend the Chrysalids, and I suggest you find something else to read. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.